Welcome to day number 10, the final day of Learn Shapr3D and 10 days for beginners. I'm Kevin Kennedy, and today we'll create a 2D manufacture drawing from our desk file. We'll look at creating new 2D drawings, applying dimensions and notes, and updating drawing views. Let's get started by opening the wooden desk file from the last two lessons. To create a new 2D drawing in Shapr3D, head to the Items Manager and select the Drawings tab. From here, we can select the Export Drawings button in the lower left corner. Alternatively, you can access this from the File Export dialog, Format, and Drawing File. We'll need to select all the components or 3D bodies that we would like to use in the 2D drawing. Select the bodies in the model or switch back to the Items tab and select the folders or bodies that you would like to include. Once everything is selected, I'll select Next. We're then able to define the drawing name, orientation, sheet size from ANSI and ISO standards, and the scale of the drawing. Note that we can edit any of these settings later on. We can also create more than one 2D drawing per 3D model, so keep that in mind when defining the drawing name. I'll change the sheet size to ANSI B and the scale to 1 to 10. Note that if we leave this checked, it will automatically generate the base views of the model. I'll select Done, and notice Shapr3D generated the 2D drawing, including the base views and title block. Let's start by repositioning the views on the drawing sheet. Select Views from the menu, and select the view to move. We can then drag these around to reposition them. At any time, we can add additional drawing views by selecting the views from the bottom toolbar. Notice this places them in the drawing. We can also delete any views by double-clicking to select the whole projection, followed by the delete key. By default, Shapr3D shows only the external edges of the drawing view. Select a drawing view and select the Hidden Lines badge to include any hidden geometry in your drawing. If you've been learning Shapr3D with this free 10-day series, please support me on Patreon or buy me a coffee, which will help me continue to make CAD education accessible. Then, comment below with your ideas for additional Shapr3D tutorials. Shapr3D offers a number of tools to help dimension your orthographic views. Each of these dimension tools will help you apply a specific type of dimension, avoiding referencing unwanted objects. Shapr3D's adaptive interface will also help you quickly dimension each object by selecting it, then simply select the green check mark. When using a mouse and keyboard, you'll need a shift click to select 2 points. I'll do this for the width and height of the desk. Notice we can also select more than one point on the drawing to quickly define the distance between them. At any time, you can also drag the dimension values around to reposition them. For example, with the point-to-point dimension type, hold the Shift key and select 2 points on the drawing. This will automatically create the dimension between them. Keep in mind that zooming in on the drawing sheet will help you ensure that you snap to the correct entities. We could also dimension the depth and width of the desk drawer, referencing the hidden lines that appear in the top and side orthographic views. The diameter dimension tool will limit our selection to only arc segments. This makes it easier to dimension details such as the drawer knob. Notice we can also apply radius dimensions in a similar manner. You can delete drawing dimensions at any time by selecting the dimension, followed by delete in the menu, or pressing the delete key. If we would like to add an angle dimension between each edge of the leg, we could use the line-to-line angle. Holding Shift, select the 2 lines, and notice the angle between them is displayed. When selecting the leg on the side view, you'll see the dimension is slightly over 24 inches. This is because the dimension is relying on the absolute dimension. We can select the badge and change this to the vertical distance between the top and bottom. We can also select the horizontal distance. I'll also dimension the bottom of the support bar to the bottom of the leg using the point-to-point distance type. If you would like to remove the title block, border, or change any other preferences, select the menu in the lower right corner of the Items Manager. In the Preferences dialog, change preferences that affect your drawing sheet. Note that you can also rename or delete the drawing from here. Shapr3D makes it easy to update drawings based on any changes to the 3D model. Let's head back to the design file and make a simple change. I'll hold Shift and double-click to select each support bar. I'll move these down 1 inch. We can then head back to the drawing by selecting the Drawings tab, followed by selecting the drawing. Notice the warning we get at the top of the drawing. Shapr3D will automatically detect the changes in our design file. After selecting to update the drawing, you'll find not only do the drawing views receive the updates, but the dimension values are automatically updated as well. Shapr3D allows you to add notes to drawing views. Select text from the menu, followed by the Note tool. Select a line or curve to apply the note to, then define the note itself. Once complete, we can move the notes around or delete them in the same way as drawing dimensions. Lastly, you can add different geometries or detailed indicators to finalize your manufactured drawings. For example, I'd like to make it clear that this desk is symmetrical and the same size throughout. I'll use the 2-line center line and shift-click the left and right edges. Notice this places a center line directly in the middle of the model. It's now clear that this design is symmetrical and that the dimensions apply to both sides. In the upper right corner, you'll find that you can change the drawing units and format similar to the design file. We can also select the export icon and specify the format. Shapr3D currently supports DWG, DXF, or PDF, allowing you to use the file in other design programs or share it with collaborators. I'll select the PDF option and I'll open the PDF to check the export. This manufactured drawing is now ready to print out or send to the shop computer. Be sure to subscribe for more free Shapr3D lessons and check out productdesignonline.com for more resources. Then check out this next Shapr3D lesson.